And so actually the guys were great. We went out there, they put the ceilings in our studios are like 14 feet high. In the air, that's where the air conditioning unit would have been. So they put a unit, the same unit that we were looking at, they put the unit 14 feet, a big, office space. They put the air conditioning unit 14 feet up in the air. Then we went in there with decibel meters and took a bunch of ratings. And when we walked out of the way, we're like, this is a no-brainer.
I think really the biggest turning point was the visit to the training center, that being able to see it and hear it and verify the noise levels at which it was at. There were just so many things that were pushing them in the right direction. And again, in this application, it was really ideal, the fact that it was significant different cost, where it was more economical to go with the Mitsubishi units than it was the conventional units. And I think for that matter too, that might have made them a little bit more wary of it too, that if they were getting something that was really going to work. So I think for us, really, that visit to be able to see it in operation, hear it in operation, and really just the facility itself too, which was really impressive in Schaumburg too, just to be able to see a little bit more about Mitsubishi and understand that this really was going to be the right solution for them. The units that we picked were cooling-only units, and I know there was a kind of a frantic phone call at one point from Nick at tastytrade asking, wait a minute, did we add heat to the units? As if we had forgotten this detail that we didn't have heat inside. But there was a lot of time spent on the heat loss and heat gain calculation more than anything, about the size of the room, the equipment that was inside, and how many BTUs of cooling that were going to be necessary. And the further we got into that with the architect and with the mechanical engineer and his numbers on it, we realized that most of the walls were double or triple insulated, and with the sound insulation that was inside, the heat loss was just about zero, that there would be just about no application whatsoever, or no time of the year where we'd actually need any heat whatsoever, that simply turning on just the equipment inside for 15 minutes would dictate the air conditioning turning on instead. And interestingly enough, the first season that we put it in, we went right into one of the coldest winters in Chicago that we've had in several years, and hit temperatures as low as minus 20 degrees. And we called back to check, and absolutely no need for any heating whatsoever. So we did pretty good on that one. So on the equipment selection, we did choose P-Series equipment for both the server room and also for the studios. In the server room, I mean, it's really typical that we use P-Series units, because almost always we're looking at low ambient cooling applications where we need to get down to 0 degrees, and perfect product for that. We did have to think about it in the studios, because usually for space heating applications where it's not the computers, we don't have to go to the P-Series equipment. We quickly realized with the heat gain that the P-Series was going to be necessary and the right product for it. And again, we had no problems with that through one of the coldest winters that we've had in a long time, so definitely the right equipment choice for the application. It's more cooling than it probably needs there too, and that was another point of contention there at a certain point with the mechanical engineer about how much we were oversizing the equipment that was there. And that was another advantage of the Mitsubishi at that point too, that the conventional system being two-stage could compensate somewhat, but having variable compressors was going to make all the difference in the world to really get it down to where it needed to be. And what we finally agreed upon was that even though there were too many BTUs in the server room, it gave them great opportunities for expansion for as many other computers they needed and many other servers they needed to put into the room. It also gave them redundancy. So having the two units, a lot better they could probably run on one unit for a long time, which they were very happy with as well.